Hey, welcome to Gone Rolling, where we all usually agree to play some D&D, enjoy shenanigans. But first, this is a mini-series! Look at this! Whoa! And we have a friend here. Look at him! Daniel! Woo!
Hi, Daniel. How's it going?
Welcome to our mini-series. I hope you're ready for tragedy, doom, and fire, and also funny shenanigans.
I'm ready to die.
Gotta be ready, guys. Gotta be ready. You can see more episodes coming out soon, but we'll just get you right into the story. So, we'll roll the intro. That was such a cool intro.
It's a great intro.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
I loved it, right?
Yeah. That was awesome.
Well.
Good job, production team.
Oh, yeah.
Us. We say thanks, production team.
The clock.
Thanks, production team.
The clock is down. No time.
Oh,
Oh shit.
clock?
It's just like keep track. Anyways.
That's scary.
So, before you guys introduce yourselves and we get into that, let's add a little bit of exposition, shall we? That way everyone knows what the hell is going on. Let me get the proper music going. Ooh, this one's good. Okay.
I vibe with this.
So, the year is 1267. You don't need to remember that because you live in it. This is a couple decades, of course, before the main campaign of Prismagic. This is in the middle of the War of the Machine. Right before the second initiative began. But as your party would know it, it's just the cold point during the conflict. The Metallurgic Collective, a great global force of cultists who worship a being called the Machine God, who manufacture beasts out of metal and weapons beyond imagination, with great efficiency, horrify the minds of children in their beds. Their war continues to trudge on, but it has cooled recently, until the point of no return. In recent months, rumors have persisted and entered the beaches of the islands, slipping in with the traders of the Micho people, of the war of the machine going to foreign coasts, tearing up ground and tearing down monarchies, creating loyal and holy governments in their place. It is a war on all sides, but the Isles have stayed mostly free for the time being. That was until now. As it seems that danger has come to you. As of a few months ago, really only about a month ago, the Micho people of the Micho Rocks outside the main island of Chonhatley have started to flood in from the coasts, coming in with rumors of danger and threat. Rumors that great iron ships land upon their beaches and tell their people to lay down their temples and open their minds to the worship of the machine, and open their homes to the engines and factories and the plentiful blessings of the collective. You four, prior to this though, prior to the influx of new people into the capital city of Kotal, were summoned by the Jade Circle and the Gemstone Houses, the leading authority of the Chonhatley Island and the Greater Islands as a whole, demanding that you four, the Iron Shell Initiative, as it was called, find a solution, a defensible program to make the island's fortitude higher to defend against any threat that comes. You have worked for many months as paranoia has risen, as stress has built up in society, as arrests have quadrupled, as riots have come up, and as city streets are flooded with refugees. Prejudice and resentment are everywhere, And the gemstone houses, the aristocracy of the society, are just dumping coin into your coffers to find solutions. Each of you, in your different researches and programs and your followers, have done so, whether it be through the medicinal practices and unique exotic ideas of how you can heal the wounds of this society, or how to fortify the religious order and empower the people through faith in the god Sva, the great snake beneath the islands themselves, or through the new practice of artificery, the machines made in the image of your lords and ladies and warriors of the island, the beasts, not by the macabre, evil iron of the outside world, but by the holy rock and stone and metals of your homeland. An honorable task that is still seen with hesitance, or by the secret research of the island's most deadly asset, over 40 divine and highly dangerous toxins, and all the other secret poisons that roam across the Isles of Sva. The research you all four do, and practices you conduct, have been important, but may not last. As of recently, Shine Hotly and the Jade Circle as a whole have received a message from the Admiral that led the Iron Fleet upon the Micho Rocks. A letter came demanding a meeting, a parley, so that peace may be had, as it does seem like they will not be letting go of those islands too easily. To avoid bloodshed, it has been called that a meeting should be had. The Jade Circle has invited the Admiral Milligan, the leader of the Iron Fleet that arrived at the coast, to come to this capital city under safe pretenses to meet and treat with the higher-ups. But you four are still in charge of secretly planning to defend the island. Now, moments, it feels like, as your hours have turned into seconds, as it seems as your clocks tick by faster every day, these group of delegates have arrived. The Admiral and a group of maybe 20 or 40 or so delegates, some minor guards. They promised to not bring their war machines to the island, simply a boat. Not far off the Kotal docks, though, just a little further beyond what you can truly see without a telescope, rests the ships, waiting to have their delegates return to them safely. But the delegates have been brought to the Diamond House, the political center of the city. A great feast is to be had. But as your party is about to enter the Diamond House, about to head into there, let us explain each of these party members, each member of this secret organization. Say what you look like, who exactly you are, maybe add your title to it. Give us an idea of who you are playing. We'll start over here with Haven. Who are you playing this adventure?
Alright, so I'm playing Metzley. She is a head medicine woman and the leader of the local chamber of Restful Wisdom. She is a half sea elf. She's a kind of a frail-looking older woman. She looks like she's later on in her years. She has pale blue skin, dark black hair that's in very long braids with a red ribbon in them. She has a jade-colored tattoo that goes over her nose and on her chin. She has these thick, round glasses, behind which she has dark black eyes that seem to absorb all light that comes by them. Her golden armor is adorned with a little jade mushroom shape. And she carries many kits that smell like earth and soil that are healing kits. And she has a scimitar and a small round shield decorated with the shapes of mushrooms, and in the center a depiction of a humanoid skull. She seems sort of hunched over. She carries herself. She's older in her years, so.
And as you tread carefully, stepping with every step, that wood of your staff. Wait, sorry. Never mind. Sorry. With each of your steps, your age does sort of come through, but what comes through more clearly probably is that scent. That slight scent that lingers with her always of the strange herbs that she uses for medicine. Exotic and new to the city, but many of its sick and weak and hurt come to her daily. She has become much more of a motherly figure for many a downtrodden in the Coastal City. But who is this over here, Hope?
I am playing Xochitl, or Sochi. She's a holy guardian of the Waiting Fang. She's a member of the Coiled Chorus, but she comes from a little bit more of the aristocracy of the Jade Circle. She's a young adult, and by young adult I mean like 18, about 20-ish. She has tannish skin, short black hair. She looks like muscular, pretty muscular, but she wears these gauntlets, these jade mega gauntlets that has a little like purplish blue stone in the center of each of them that look like they're ready to, if she did this, would turn into giant, even bigger gauntlets. She wears spikes and has a pattern of jaguar tattoo that goes down from here all the way down to her leg and her arm. And then also lots and lots of, you see tiny little snake bites along her arms in a very intricate kind of symmetrical patterns. It is well known that to commune with the gods outly, people use snake bites and use that venom to go into a trance state, so she does that. It's pretty obvious. But what she wears in this moment, she's probably wearing her armor. She is a member of, again, the guard as well. So she has this jade armor. It looks like a little bit like scale mail, a little bit. And she's got her dogs out. She's wearing sandals though, but with these intricate knee pads, or not knee pads, shin guards with beautiful orange feathers. She's very brightly colored with gold necklaces and gems, but she looks like she would, if she bit you, you would be poisoned.
Let's find out.
Let's not find out.
She is a human.
Yeah.
She's a human, so she's not like anything necessarily fancy here, but her headdress is that of a snake's head.
Yeah.
That goes like this around her, and then there's a plume of feathers that go behind. And she looks like she takes no shit, but she's about 5'4". She's kind of short, but.
And as you step on the cold stone floor and walk with that pride and stride that is so well known from this holy guardian of the Coiled Chorus, she does have this air that does seem to persist.
And she does have a very notable staff. She's the one with the staff.
She has the staff, that's right.
She has a staff that's jade in nature, and it has a snake's head. And inside the snake's head has this bluish purple gem in the center.
Many stories are told of the Coiled Chorus's holy guardian. Cherry-picked girl becoming a great warrior, a holy and divinely chosen beast of a human, or perhaps just a simple woman doing her duty to her god. Many people have different ideas. But who is walking behind these two?
Well, behind these two, you see a 5-foot young turtle, around the age of 20, perhaps. Really what's the word? When you're good at something, but you're good.
Like a
Proficiency?
prodigy?
Prodigy.
There you go.
Prodigy.
Yeah.
I had it in my head before everything.
I got you.
Camera shy. But yes, he's a prodigy of his time, a leader of the Tinker Society, and the main engineer for the city as well.
Yep.
His shell is covered in pieces of metal that have been assembled in such a way that only he truly understands. Something, a bit of a puzzle, maybe. It seems to add a little bit of extra defense to him. And there's also jewelry adorning it. He wears thin glasses to cover his sleepy eyes from long nights working and toiling, and big crystal goggles that he uses when he works on his machines and welds.
Yeah.
His neck is covered and adorned in colorful feathers, and his hands are covered in rings, except for his right hand, which is wearing a big welding glove that used to belong to his father, made of leather. This glove is the one he uses, or this hand is the one he uses whenever he picks up his pistol, which also belonged to his father. Truly, his first little tinker.
Yeah.
A gun?
A gun, yes, when he was a child.
Yeah.
And you see that his shell, whenever in danger, has the capability to shine a subtle blue hue, some bit of an indication of the defenses he's added to it. On his skin, you also see this. You see his skin is greenish blue, some blue like hues within there.
Yeah.
But there are also burn scars from many failed attempts during his first early years, becoming what he is today. And yes, he's very smart, but perhaps not as wise as other people might think. Yes.
And as this Turtle walks with this group, he does walk out with that like knowing pride that he is pretty darn smart compared to the rest of society. And in fact, there are only a few of the gemstone houses, these aristocratic families that control the Jade Circle government, that really support the practice of machinery in the society, especially since the time of it becoming seen as more of like a threat to society. Their support has allowed you to practice and to engage in the more exotic areas of this machinery, to fight fire with fire, as the philosophy says. And you walk with that knowing necessity that what you do is necessary, and you believe that. And though the rumors persist of you maybe being a naive boy or a foolish child, it's the fact that you know, yes, you are young, but you are smarter than anyone, triple, quadruple your age.
Everyone in this room is dumber than me. I've got something to prove.
1 to 20, would you say your intelligence score
Is high?
It's pretty high up
pretty
there.
close to 20?
I'd say, yeah.
Walking behind that turtle, though, maybe with a little bit more of a shadowy appearance with a hood, is who, Stuart?
I am playing Khan Balam, a older tabaxi man who is the head toxologist of this country. And he does have, he's about probably in his early 40s, maybe late 30s. And he is very gaunt and sickly looking. Very ragged, very sick, and you almost see like patches of fur that are falling out, showing the skin beneath. That's almost pale white from just the blood not flowing too well through him. You would see like his like facial complexion, even though he is a tabaxi, he has the like facial mannerisms and the like emotions of a lizard. And his eyes look like they have nothing going on behind them sometimes.
He's a little freak.
Just a little freak.
He's a little freak.
I mean, you must poison enough. You are a little freak.
There is almost a sour scent that lingers in the air when you walk by, usually. But most people put it up to probably your sickly nature.
You would see, of course, he does wear a large red cloak that drapes all the way down to his feet, and underneath that, you do see this almost like scale mail, a mixture between both real metal as well as scales beneath that. You would see him wearing a bracer with, attached to the side of it, all kinds of poisons and toxin vials around it, as well as along his belt. And you would notice on his wrists, on his left side, he does have like 3 little metal implants that look like it would be where you would inject some kind of formula
Where
or
he shoots
toxins.
up.
Where he shoots up. He has 3 on his
Gotta practice on himself sometimes.
left hand and 1 on his right below that bracer.
Did I ever say my name?
I don't think so.
Yeah, what's your name?
Ayoto Chilchoto. Chilchoto. You can cut that.
Of course, whenever you walk by usually. You are used to the side glances and the whispers. You are used to having to be seen in more of a darker light, as it is.
You stink.
I know.
As getting used to the tech spa people, the culture of the Chanhatli Island is not easy, as poison research and toxicology is always derived from the coiled chorus's religious practices. This outside research from the religion, the separation for some people is jarring and unnatural, but there are many supporters in the upper echelons of the houses, the gemstone houses, that support and see that research as necessary. The coiled chorus does not release all its secrets, and it will not tell. So it has been hard to deal with it, but you have grown used to it, no doubt.
Yes. And the last thing you would really notice about him is hidden along his back and at the small of his back, he does have a bow and a quiver.
As these four walk down this hall, approaching the great doors to the great room within the Diamond House where this feast meeting is to be held, you are reminded once again of the danger these people possess, these visitors. Though they did not come in with weapons, their words can be seen as such, maybe. You don't know. Maybe paranoia could get the better of you. But the delegates of states and the members of this nation will partake of them for a moment, it seems. But your work is not done yet. For these are the Isles of Sva, as the outside world calls them. The isles that are bound to the great god serpent, the first wave, Svaohautli, this being of pure toxin, of pure magnitude that simple slithers in the water can create tidal waves to carve out nations from the beaches. But this serpent rests, as you are so lucky, as this great god is not only a danger to your enemies, but sometimes a danger to yourself. So it is up to you to solve these problems. At least that's what you believe. As the doors open before you, as some servants begin to open them, is there a moment where you say something to each other? Does someone take a moment to speak up? Or is there just silence?
I feel like my girl is here with me.
Your snake.
You snake now, policewoman?
My policewoman.
Is that your baton?
Yeah. I imagine she to announce their presence.
As the doors open, that echoes out on the cold stone floor. You see the warm glow of the firelight from candles hanging on great chandeliers made out of beautiful stone, all wrapped together and bound. It twinkles with light. The gemstones of this island are very famous, very, very plentiful, and treasured beyond these islands is what you believe. The Micho people, the traders that were on the outside islands of the Greater Isle, would always trade them to the outside world, but now, in recent times, with the Micho rocks being taken over, it is less fortunate. But still, the diamonds and gemstones decorate this hall as the doors open up, and you see the twinkling pillars that hold up the great roof of this room, the chandeliers with emeralds and sapphires, the walls with embedded diamonds and twinkling amethyst. You see this room, it is overwhelmingly wealthy.
I feel like it's a bad idea to show them how cool our islands are. It just makes them want to take it over more.
I know, right?
It is a
Look at all these gems that could
Look
be
what
for
all
your
could be
taking.
yours.
It is a bit of a reverse perspective, though, because the Texfa see color and beauty as a sign of threat and danger, as their snake god is so well colored. Color represents danger to them, but the outside world is definitely seen as other way. So it is like culture's already conflicting, probably. But
You said we like danger.
Yes. Yeah. You see them there before you, the delegates. You see the high mistress of the Coiled Chorus, the religious leaders of the society, an old woman with a gown, cloak, and hood that drapes with beautiful greens that all seem to form this almost snake-like patterned body with a draping cloak that drags behind her. In a way, this could only be found here on Chanhatli and the Sva Isles, but it is immensely overpowering. If you were from outside these isles, you would be able to recognize the religious significance. Her old, dried, and wrinkled human face seems on the edge of death, but her energy and her power in her statements you will know to be signs of her filled with life. There is the Jade Lord, the high diplomat and political officer of the Jade Circle and the Isles as a whole. Kavar, as his name is usually said, a short man with sunburnt skin, very deep dark color, his black hair mostly gray and his beard all gray now, one eye torn away from him, replaced with a gemstone. He also exemplifies the haughty nature of the gemstone houses, the need to be flamboyant and to express the power and wealth and color of the houses, also to notify those who would stand against him of their threat. And then there, speaking to both of them, a figure in a very unceremonial, unbeautiful, uncolorful cloak. Not hood, but like a cloak-like jacket. A man with a red chin-strap beard that's cut a little short. More buzz cut would have been, but now has outgrown red hair. A slash mark on his cheek that goes back to his ear, clipping it to the side. A blade or something went clean through his cheek at one point. His cloak his coat is that of a light gray, and his black boots, his black gloves. It seems like he's trying to separate himself from the earth as much as possible. His skin is only appears on his neck and up. There is no sign of attachment to the floor. There's no sign of wealth. There is none of that. But you saw him once before, and now you know him to be the Admiral Mirrigan, who leads the fortress fleet that has come to your isles. There are other members of the Melodic Collective, other diplomats of the Isles here. They all talk and speak. There are drinks and beverages to be had. Do you approach the trio, or do you just take your own table?
I think we kind of go on the outskirts and mingle a little bit, you know? Unless...
Catch word of rumors or gossip or such, or...
I know some people who know about machines when I see them. I'm gonna try to get some secrets out of there. I need to know what their power source is. What's going on there?
Smart plan. She immediately...
Pour some alcohol.
some soda.
That's a lot of gin.
Well, can it get wasted?
Maybe for you, but not for me.
Do you follow these three, Khan, as it seems like your turtle ally goes over to maybe get some word and gossip from the collective and maybe other diplomats in the area?
I will probably follow him, just to listen in to see what I can gather.
Very well.
I will use fun words today. I'm gonna slither around and keep an eye on anything that looks suspicious. Mm-hmm. Make note of what weapons they may carry or anything that could be a weapon. Even like something that could be turned into a makeshift one.
I would like you to roll d20 and we'll say add your investigation for this.
Also, I realized I made her last name very dangerously to Kavar. It's kind of ick.
Yeah. So,
D&D Beyond will
as she slithers around, and you three sort of like split off into this section over here, you find a sizable group of individuals talking amongst themselves, some collective members denoted by their uniformed utilitarian sort of outfits of many different races. There's a dragonborn, a dwarf, there is a satyr and a tiefling, and a couple humans, as they begin to discuss amongst some gemstone house leaders, some in purple, some in green, some in orange, and some in fiery yellows. They talk, and you approach. What did you roll in your investigation? 15. It seems that the diplomats of the collective were allowed a simple sort of maybe ceremonial like dagger on one or two of them. But besides that, their weaponry is unseen if they have any, or they do not wield such right now. There does seem to be weaponry on their guards, though. They do not have machine looks to them. They are not constructs, as what you might assume. These are humans and humanoids in some sort of metal chest plate, a very sort of like conquistador sort of like style metal plate, just simple bend around the chest, not shouldered armor, not neck armor, no helmet or such. They do carry with them a blade, but they seem quite simple, and that is maybe intended. As you approach this group, you hear them talk. One, a dragonborn of green scales, collective member, speaks to a half-sea elven man. I think there tends to be some resentment for that fact of, yes, there are dangers in the practice, but there is reason to believe that there is benefits to be had. Sure, the engines are experimental and combustion can lead to explosions, but such things are slowly becoming of the past. Your people could benefit from heating and sources like this that don't rely on pure magic. It is more plentiful to the less fortunate. The sea elf man wearing bright yellows comes from a gemstone house, clearly. He speaks up with a bit of hesitation. I see what you're saying, but I don't believe it's that easy. Such differences and changes in society would no doubt have pushed back and would take great funding, astronomical sources of materials that are just not possessed in normal society. So transitions to this idea of yours of utilitarian heating systems and engines running through cities and such are a bit strange. You would have to uproot all the stone in a town to do such a thing. They've come to an impasse. Would you like to jut in?
I'm so sorry. If I could just say something. Is the problem here the lack of material for creating this utopian society you speak of?
The sea elf gemstone house he's probably Rotul, but he has Texfall lineage at some point. He looks towards you, looks down at you with his like tall 6-foot frame. I know of you, high engineer, but yes, it would be costly, especially in a city of Kotal. The capital city is embedded with layers upon layers of stone of generations of construction. Such a feat of piping throughout the city would be foolish.
Well, yes, but you seem to forget that we live on Earth, on atop Earth and stone and rock and many metals. There is no need to rid a city of their supply. You understand? You could simply create a machine that could go deeper. We do not know the depths and lengths of this earth and stone. Until we reach some sort of hellish underdark, surely we may use such machinery to get an abundant amount of resources without disturbing the peace.
The Turtle knows what he's saying, as the Green Dragonborn speaks up, sort of butting in, but honestly, like, bolstering you. I see that there is some people here that clearly understand the benefits of such research. It is easy enough to make a machine, but I have no doubt you probably wouldn't have considered that. And you do hear some like hisses from the crowd. It's a very traditional Texfa thing in their culture to like sort of like hiss off something, like it's sort of like a psh kind of gesture. But as the Green Dragon's bolstering you, so you do see some of the other Gemstone House members of the aristocracy nodding their heads at this. You know, you have knowing supporters. And the Green Dragonborn looks at you now as the Sea Elf man seems kind of put off by this. And who are you? I did not expect to meet someone so vocally interested in the benefits of such sciences.
I extend out my hand with my weld glove on, and
He takes it.
Pleasure to meet you. My name is Yotl. I am the lead engineer of this great city of ours, and I know much about the outside world. I know it's unknown here how much research really goes on, but I am deeply in the books. If you catch my drift.
Well, it's a very pleasure. It's my pleasure, in fact, and all of our pleasures to meet you.
It's a very
Yoctor.
pleasure.
It's a pleasure. More than anything. I cannot wait for certain negotiations to be had on the benefits of trading sciences or understanding. In fact, I would say that the stonework and gemstone proficiency of these islands are unseen anywhere else in the world. So there is something to be learned from these people. This Dragonborn is very, very outspoken, and you can tell that some of the other members of the collective are always. They're probably not the best in relationships with him. He's always speaking his mind, probably, right? And the Sea Elf man has sort of walked off, but the other gemstone aristocrats are very much intrigued by this conversation. And what's your insight again? Your passive insight?
Passive insight is 13.
13. There are rumors that you're not entirely too aware of, but the gemstone houses are always there to lend money where it is needed. They sit on piles and piles of gemstones and cash. But the rumors persist that they will throw their money anywhere that seems to grow that pile. Mm-hmm. But it benefits you, and you're doing a common good. So clearly their money goes to good causes. Mm-hmm. So if they were to be interested in this, it would be a good cause.
Yeah. Well, as it seems, I am among fellow scientists and engineers, yes. We are of the same mind.
I would like to know more about this shell of yours if you have some time.
This.
I can see the work on the backside. I have never imagined such an idea to have. I wonder if
it is an intricate design.
Yes.
Not many of my kind do such strange things to their shells. It is immensely painful.
You see quickly a hand is raised.
I'm not ready. I was trying not to interrupt you.
Yeah, sorry, go
but
ahead.
while you are taking their attention and you are drawing them in, all of the collective people, I'm going to look over them, see if I see anything that looks like papers, journals, any kind of research notes that they might have on their constructs or machines.
Investigation, go ahead. Are you doing anything?
Fuck.
I'm just kind of
Yeah.
sauntering. I'm just an old
You love that.
woman.
I imagine
Good start,
at some
good start.
point I do come I'm listening in from far
Oh,
away.
yeah,
Oh, they're talking loud at this point.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah, we're
having my
laughing, we're
staff
boasting.
and just
Yeah.
the turtle is conversing too loudly, too boldly with the others.
I don't know what they're squawking about.
Some other.
They speak much, but they say little.
Some other members of the houses around you, sort of overhearing your whisper, because they're this is places that can be packed in some spaces. They're like, you speak true, holy guardian. Yes, quite wise. She is so correct for her age.
Yes.
Is my dad here? Actually,
You will probably see him.
he's in the distance.
Yeah, he's in the distance with some other guardsmen that are. There's two sets of guards. There's the Melody Collective guards on half of the room, and the other half is the Amethyst guard of the Jade Circle. So he is in this room.
Figured.
You
Hey,
can see
Dad,
him.
you hear that?
Because I'm just looking, just
He makes eye contact with you. He is directing people. While this discussion's going on, what'd you get?
With my keen lizard eyes, I roll a natural one.
As you're looking around, at one point, you look over. You do see in the cuff of one of these metal a tuft of paper that's been tucked into the folded part of them. And for a moment, you take a close look, but then they turn towards you, and you actually see a tabaxi of not the Isles, of not the Micho Rocks, that looks at you and it's just like, is there something wrong with your pelt? You are quite, unwell? Is there something on my face?
The years have not been kind to Khan.
I see. I could not, fully relate, but,
oh shit, can't relate.
but,
Damn, that sucks, bro.
I wish you the best, brother. You should venture to, the grassed fields of my homeland. We have great springs that can help heal. some wounds here and there. I'm going to go this way. I hope you're doing well.
What homeland is that?
Oh, I come from the fields. It's a little further north on the continent of Heracon. No doubt you have heard. It's it's north from here. It's quite large, but there are some. There are the golden fields. A lot of tall grass there, but there are some natural springs, and the springs well up. It's said from areas of the Feywild. The waters can sort of heal the wounds.
So you keep your natural landscapes. You don't turn it all into machine.
Well, there is balance to be had. For some points of the year, the springs do not manifest, but with the proper enchantments, I'm sure that we can ensure that they are there year-round.
While they're talking, I like bonk. Jeez, just a little bit. And I like kind of like get really like up in your ears, bruh. I just like
Crooked ears.
do not make your meddling so obvious.
It's just like a hollow sound.
Well, I'm sure you have more important people to talk to than a little old woman.
Of course.
Just walk away.
Of course.
Can you believe these people? As you're walking away, you're actually stopped quickly by a guard, an amethyst guard. He wears his pink, almost purple cloak and his armor over that. And it's less colorful and beautiful as Sochi's armor would be. It's not as sort of like holy and religious, but they still have color in their armor. And he sort of stops you.
Yes, son.
Chamber mistress, my mother, she should have come by the chamber about a moon ago, and I was curious. Is she well? I know that the practices of healing can take some time, but
Yes, indeed.
the root of the disease was setting deep into her leg, and I'm a bit worried.
Oh, yes, I remember. Yes, she's in recovery right now.
Yes, thank you, High Mistress. I know that some people in the chamber need longer treatments, and though not all treatments work, I have hopes that your unique practices.
I remember that your mother is a very strong woman. She will contribute much to the island still to come.
I'm glad to hear it because I question, and he gets kind of close and whispers to you. I question if the chorus cares any more for the weaker of the few of the island. Your chamber is such a breath of fresh air.
I'm glad to hear it. Khan, what are you doing?
The cat is slinking around.
It's like earlier when you rolled to see anyone sketchy, of course, I'm ringing up all the alarm bells.
As you're saying that, and as the conversation over there is like getting to its like peak of like, oh, and I gotta say, I will compliment you on the leatherwork of that glove. You know?
Why, thank you.
You know, it's a simple design, but like
This was my father's.
Whoa! He must have
Yes,
been
yes.
a son turtle.
It's wonderful, isn't it? Yes.
Yoktul, you are such a nice. Like he has no idea what your name is. But yeah, he pats you on your shell.
It's Ayoto, but
There's a
I don't call your name, sir.
you may call me Harren.
Oh, Harren the Baron.
I love this guy. There's a loud clap, and all the sort of Gemstone House and Texwa people, and I would recognize this sort of loud clap to be that of the sort of like ceremonial, like it's a call to order. But the Melodic Collective people take a second as well to sort of quiet down, as the dragon was like the last to say, "Oh, and those dogs." As he sort of shuts up. Shuts up, yeah.
Everyone
Like,
just...
yeah, there's some hissing, you know. Some
Speaking of my dogs.
those parrows. As the High Mistress steps forward, as it seems that Jade Lord Kavar is the one who clapped. Thank you all, children of the Isles. And she like makes special care to look towards her eyes, towards some of the displaced Micho diplomats, these group of Tabaxi and Turtles and some Triton people that are notably wearing the white gowns with shell marks and shells tied into the cloth of the Micho people. I welcome you and hope that we can find a path towards a more suitable peace in his great eyes. May we not rattle our lord too much with discourse, and we find a soothing peace.
My apologies.
As she speaks, she turns her aside to the red-bearded admiral. He steps forward, and you can sense the air in the room changes very, very quickly as some of my allergy collective people take on like a very serious air, mimicking the chorus in Tech Spa, who did the same for their leaders. He steps forward, his black boots are on the stone in the quiet room. Okay, well, let's go with something like this, shall we? His face is not serious. It's actually kind of like jovial, as he kind of has like a smirk. He has a very much like sort of like. He is. This is really weird. I kind of imagine him as like a young Santa Claus before the hair goes white. It's sort of a round face and like, kind of like reddish cheeks.
Very friendly.
Kind of, yeah. But he has that also like look of like authority. You can see into his eyes, and somebody with higher insight can like sense that sort of like nature of like he has a tight grip on control, you know.
Santa Claus from the Guardians.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I am so pleased that we have been welcomed to this island with open arms and hors d'oeuvres, as he points to the table. I'm a great fan of shrimp. There's just like a shrimp platter over there. A tower of shrimp.
I thought he was calling hors d'oeuvres shrimp. I was like, buddy.
There's a tower of shrimp. The cat.
What's hors d'oeuvres?
What are hors d'oeuvres? This is food.
Cracker with some leaves.
Your people are quite welcoming, and I am pleased to know that such treats can be had at any gathering, it seems, as I have been told by your High Mistress and your Jade Lord that there is many moments of joy in your society, many excuses to have dances, music, and party, and I would like to see more of this. And your people truly probably know how to celebrate. No doubt the Island of Venom, as some of the outside world calls it, knows some of the greatest venom. Some brews, in fact. Maybe some liquors. As he smiles. It is kind of true that, yes, the Texas Island has some very rare liquors. Some liquors that are quite literally just toxic. But, like...
More of an ale.
It's more of an ale culture, you know? As he speaks up. But yes,
There's no mead.
No mead on this island.
We have no bees.
No need for mead.
Yeah, no need for mead down here. All joking aside, your people are very warm, and the misunderstanding that occurred on the rocks many weeks ago, I hope to clarify here. And you can see like there's some like aggression in the Micho diplomats at a table. They kind of glance up at that. I would like to come to an understanding that this is a moment of discourse, yes, but a moment of discourse to healing. That is what we are here for, and that's what we will achieve, no doubt. So, let us be soon friends. And I know your people like to party, so I have brought the party to you. As he sort of raises his hand and the High Mistress nods and the Jade Lord gestures to a side door and the side door opens up. Wheeled in are some crates. Some crates with a reddish wood, like a deep red wood. The Malachi Collective has some treats for you.
But I have been told about this.
Yes.
Okay, what are they?
They came with cargo and gifts, not just money and tokens from the outside world and maybe some offerings of different alcohols, foods, and stuff. But these are entertainments, as they were called, entertainment automatons. These were the ones that were allowed to come here. These are unique.
Indigo's here?
Yeah. Here comes out strumming an instrument. FNAF.
Freddy Fazbear!
These were entertainment bots, thoroughly checked. They have
No
these
kids in
appearances of clown-like gestures. They're colorful, but their colors were purposely readjusted, it seems, from what you heard. As there are war dances and there are fun dances in the Isles of Texfa. Some use muted colors. Which ones use bright colors? You'll probably know. But the crates are opened very quickly as they were wheeled in. They sort of just like fall open, and confetti pops open, as everyone's just like, kind of stops for a moment.
Fascinating.
Some mechanism is firing inside. Yeah, and some of the guards are like, so,
On guard.
Yeah, as the confetti flies, and the admiral sort of speaks up. No. It is the opening. As you hear like an instrument begin to be played, a little pin whistle just being stuck. As I'm going to change the music real quick. As all of a sudden,
Clown music.
a jovial atmosphere comes on, as you may not have heard this music before, but you feel it. You can understand it.
It's choosing a song.
It's cycling through
It's
it.
like into the songs.
No.
It's analyzing culture and
fine.
like
Alexis,
analyzing.
please change the tune.
Not that one.
No,
That's
next one,
The
Alexis.
tunes are rancid.
Next one, Alexis.
Next one, please. No. Go back.
Next one, Alexis.
We'll just go with
This
this
outside
one.
music is garbage.
As you see coming out the bar, you see these white, sort of like stone-bodied dolls with outfits and gowns with little bells and jingly bits and cloth. Their faces are not painted on; they're faceless. But they have outfits and gear, and some of them have multiple arms, and one of them has 4 arms, and one arm holds a violin or a string instrument that you recognize, and one holds the string, so there's like 2 violins going on at once. There's one with like a pin whistle attached to its mouth, and then you get to dance around, and there's like some like hesitation at first, and people are like, what the fuck?
That's
So
like
cheap.
abomination.
Yeah.
Those things.
I run up to one and immediately start like looking at it. Put on my special glasses.
Oh, these ads.
Make an investigation roll for me.
Sochi is putting on the bravest face you've seen her.
Yeah.
She's a little struggling, but she's like,
Yeah, there's some hesitation, and then
I
you
don't like those things.
And then you see it. Some faces, some transitions.
That's a 10.
A 10, okay. Like you're
But my
so,
passive is 20.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. You're so amazed and awestruck. It's taking you a little bit to really understand what's going
Yeah,
on.
I've never really seen such like advanced wiring.
Yes, and they're so fluid with their movements and everything.
I'm also going to approach with him kind of a bit more slowly. While he's in awe looking at this grand design, I'm taking a closer look, trying to look at its insides, trying to see if there is any veins or anything that transports anything, any weakness that they might have.
You may also make an investigation roll.
They got a circulatory system.
They got blood.
Their porcelain bodies move around and dance, and you see the change, the transition, as some faces in the crowd, some of these gemstone lords and ladies, some of these Rotal diplomats, and even some of these Micho kind of tilt their head, and some of them seem entertained. As some of these creatures bring out ribbons, some of these automatons bring out balls, and some of them purposely seem to trip and fall and sputter down, and people actually do sort of like, sort of like laugh as one falls down and crumbles, and you can see its actual body parts split up. Like its arms fall off and its head kind of rolls down. And some of them are like, oh, it's broken. Oh dear, no. Oh, and the Jade Lord looks like, I'm so sorry. And the Admiral raises a hand, just wait. As you can see it sort of like shift. And this sort of like catches you off guard, like, whoa, what'd you roll?
14.
14. They are covered in this metal porcelain, or this not metal porcelain, it's like a white stone, but they have seams. The white stone is clipped together, and their joints are rotating bits. They're like those positioning dolls for paintings, you know? But they are segmented, even in the parts that fall off. But all of a sudden, as it's laying there in pieces, its body kind of and it falls together, and it leans back like a springed toy, and then falls forward, and he does a little bow, and you can see some people in the crowd are like, ha ha, whoa! And you can see some of them sort of like play fighting. They start slapping each other as these little automatons are going at it as one pushes another one, and another one pushes another one. They sort of like fight, but then they go into a gymnastics routine, and you can see one jumps up on top of another one, and so like legs are on the shoulders of that one, and they start walking around like this, you know. And you can see they start two of them do the same thing, and then one jumps and grabs the hands of another, and one grabs the legs of another, and before you realize it, 5 of them are twirling in a circle as they make a wheel out of their bodies, rolling around, and like people are like so overwhelmed. It's like so much sugar at once. A lot of these people can't help but be like, oh, whoa, oh.
So she's looking for any sort of reassurance from her father right now, because she's just like, this is, on her perspective,
blasphemy.
This is not just that, but terrifying.
Yeah.
Because if these are their like entertainment robots, what do their combat ones look like?
It would be her thought process. You look towards him. He looks stone cold at them. He's not pleased. He's investigative, but he's not scared, or you're not sure if you can pick that up. Make an insight roll for me.
Okay.
It's this song.
It's this song! I fucking hate this song!
But yes, they're covered in seams, Con.
Was it insight,
They're
right?
pieces. Yes, you could pry them open. On their backs, some of the cloth fabric doesn't hang to their torsos so well. You can see that they have some sort of like keyhole mechanism. That's what catches your eye too. Like a place for something to be placed in and maybe turned. And you're like, oh yes, you have schematics for something like this. Springs and rotary systems. Stuff like
Just keep going.
Yeah.
I look inside the little hole and kind of like try to fidget with the one I'm near.
Yeah, as you're like near this one, it kind of like reads your movements, and it looks like shocked from it, and then it sort of like starts like fiddling with you as you're fiddling with it, and people in the crowd are like,
We're fiddling with each other.
I mean, it's my dad. I know. Oh my god, dog trick.
I'm gonna tell you something. After partying.
Okay. He's got his pedals out.
Khan wants to know what you think empowers them.
See,
What gives them life?
this is incredibly interesting. I believe that these constructs, each individual limb is its own construct. And they are in some way programmed or commanded to build themselves into one body.
Why did you do that?
I have heard
Spider.
they might have a blood of sorts.
Blood. No, blood. Interesting.
you can see the one that you're talking to him. These things don't have ears. And the one that he was looking at is actually now just sort of like tapping his shell like this, and making these like metal sounds.
Yes,
Like a marimba?
I feel that. Mr. Construct, I hope you know I feel everything you're doing.
You can see a heron, the green dragonborn, is just like, oh, don't worry, all you have to do is command it. It will listen to any command.
Construct, sit.
And it kind of sits on like its thighs and its knees are up, but its hands are down. It's almost like sitting like a dog. And then it starts dragging its butt across the ground.
Stop it, Construct! Bad Construct!
Stops and freezes,
Now, don't move. Allow me to fidget with that hole in your back.
Can I roll to deceive everyone that I'm chill? Like, cause I'm trying to do the same thing. Like, okay, I'm trying to be cool. My dad looks cool.
That one.
Yeah.
For free, you did it.
Oh, that's a 3. Oh no! I have a -1.
The sweat. You're so not cool.
You are very cool right now.
Like she looks at her dad, realizes some things that Trevor said, and then she's like,
And as they're dancing and playing, do you say anything to her?
No,
You just sort of place your hand on her. You could feel her presence.
I'm gonna whisper to her.
Okay.
I command the construct to give me its hand.
It gives you a hand, and then it sort of pops off into your hand. And
Do you mind, Mr. Construct, if I take this to analyze? I'm very interested in how you work.
you can see the green dragonwood heron sort of taps on your shoulder. Now, there'll be time to experiment later. Let's enjoy the show.
I am enjoying. This is how I enjoy things.
I have no doubt, Yoctul, that you enjoy experimenting with things,
It's
but
Ayotl.
Ioto. Yes.
Ioto.
Let's.
No toe, no dogs.
Oh, I'm saying I've been
No
getting
dogs.
used to the accent of your people. let us like have some fun. You take a look at it, but like
You are
don't
right.
break it. You know.
Well, if it breaks, apparently it can build itself back together. That's what's so interesting, Mr. Heron.
Oh, I suppose you're right. And you can see, like, yes, they have segments. The hand itself is partially solid. It's fuck.
It's fuck. Cut.
It's knuckle bones and hands, kind of like it has all those joints. Those fingers don't seem to be popping off. Anywhere where there is like a major joint, it can probably break off and fall apart.
Interesting.
Now that it's like exposed, now they're gonna see like beyond the outside shell. What does the inside look like?
You can see on the wrist is a rounded bowl. In that bowl are like 6 holes, like little pinholes, and you can see this almost like sparkling blue, like almost like pixie dust kind of stuff. Like every once in a while, will just linger outside of those holes. Make a history roll for me.
History.
And you can as well.
But that's a +8.
Dog.
Dog. Oh no, dog. I got a 3.
What
So-
do they hope
So that's an 11.
share?
My rolls are just bad, apparently.
Mine
I cannot
too.
roll anything above a 10.
I got your dice though, so it's your fault.
Is it whatever their intent was? It is deceiving them. But this
They're very weak-willed, it seems.
Do I hear this?
Yeah, we're like
far
whispering
away.
back
Yeah,
here.
they moved
They're
apart from
whispering.
you probably. Yeah. You will see, as you look at this, you both are perplexed, but you have heard stories on the outskirts of Chanhatli, near the edges of the island, where certain blue liquid has started to whelm up to the surface.
Oh, no.
This blue liquid seems very similar to this dust, but you can't be sure. You both have heard rumors because of your contacts from the outside have gotten you certain resources of a material that is now known as fossic. A strange blue natural material that appeared the same time this machine god came to the world.
As it leaks out of the
Yeah.
machine, I'm gonna like try to get a sample of it
Yeah.
for myself.
Ooh.
So you get like a little
Brave.
like a vial. Roll sleight of hand if you're trying to be like clever and careful.
No,
Okay, gotcha.
I'm not trying to be.
Yeah, you're like, wow.
It already gave me its hand, you know.
That's true. So like, we'll say from the hand you have in your hand, like in your hand, like you see a little bit coming out, and you like quickly pull
Yeah,
out
I'll
your
pocket
vials,
that.
right?
While you are not being obvious and drawing attention away, I will try to get some as well, but I will do it secretly.
Sleight of hand.
Come on, dice.
You two, as you're sort of like they're trying to build together.
What? What is it?
I got another nat 1.
Oh,
I have not done anything above a 5 on my
Hopefully we'll
dice.
get them out now.
Yeah, get them
That's
out
the
now
end of this
when the
campaign.
risks are lower.
Yeah.
Garbage rolls.
When you're trying to hold it all together, is when you start to see
At least it's not a bad
the
roll.
resentment
I'm a +8.
and the fear in some people's eyes. Yes, there's a good number of the crowd that seems entertained, but there's a good number of the crowd that, especially the old and the more traditional, that are like biting their fingers or biting their lips. You can see sweat. The trio of leaders, though, the admiral seems to be enjoying it, and the Jade Lord Kavar seems to be like nodding and
Actually,
like sort of like
I already have a 9, right?
smiling, like, oh, this is kind of entertaining, you know.
What's it now?
The High Mistress is stone. Her face does not move. She just watches it like an old woman seeing her third or 300th show for some diplomatic meeting, you know. But most importantly, as you're trying to do this and you're like sort of fumbling for it, and you're seeing all this happening, there's a shout as stepping forward is a diplomat, a rounded, older tabaxi man from the Micha Rocks that steps forward, no doubt a diplomat of the islands. And he moves forward and says, "This is extremely unnecessary, High Mistress and Jade Lord. These people have brought these machines to soothe our worries, but this means nothing. This is honey on wounds. They have insulted us and taken our rocks, and you want to let them entertain you? We need them to give our lands back to us. We are the gem houses of our islands. Now I ask you to do the same here. And as soon as he started yelling, all of the little automatons seemed to like respond and sort of like stopped moving. Like they can like register like the serious tone, you know, like sort of like And as he says that, there's this moment where everyone's like sort of quiet down, like people snap out of it, you know, where they're like, oh, that was fun, but like, oh shit, like, oh, things are. Oh yeah, no, this is like a time of trouble. Whoa. Okay. And some people maybe just don't seem to care. But as he continues, he's quickly cut off. You see the Jade Lord steps forward. You need to hold your tongue, sir. You are a guest on Chanhatli. Our Texfar people have allowed you residence here. Yes, they may not be your friends, but they are diplomats here. And he makes really large movements with his face, and he always has his gemstone eye forward, a sign of intimidation. This gash still kind of there as the sockets fill with the colorful stone. You bite your tongue, Micho. Do not insult one we treat with. We are doing this for your good. Know your place. You will have your time to speak. And then, as soon as he finishes his statement, not cutting him off, but strategically waiting for the moment, the animal steps forward. Jade Lord, I don't mean to offend anyone here. I just wanted to know, he's right. We do need to get to that. Maybe we should put the entertainment aside. For all sakes. It does seem that Kavar is understanding of what he's saying. And maybe Kavar was putting on a show. Maybe he was purposely trying to look pissed. Or maybe he was pissed. It's up to you if you want to insight him. Go for it.
No.
You're going to insight this entire conversation if you roll.
Oh! Dirty 20.
Damn, low rolls, dude.
We'll get them out now.
24.
20. Okay, well, with both of those.
Okay.
I'm a cop.
What'd you get?
I give myself disadvantage on this. That is a insight -2.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
My gosh. Well, you two recognizing the face of this man and these expressions, reading people is maybe you're proficient in these tactics. Both of you can see that he is not necessarily pissed. He was making a political move in calling out the Micho Lord. But maybe he was waiting for that outcry. Maybe he was wanting to provoke the Micho Lord to put a disadvantage on the Admiral, placing him into the box of aggressor. But then you can see the pissed nature he actually has now, because it whelms up as soon as the Admiral starts speaking. Because then the Admiral sidesteps his argument and is humbled, deflating Kavar's entire chance to get a whelm up in the crowd. The Admiral immediately just deflates his entire balloon. Basically, what you just saw is some political tactician immediately gets stabbed in the back by another political tactician. And Kavar looks backwards and has to catch himself for a moment. You're right, Admiral. You're right. Let us move forward with this discussion. The festivities will come to an end for now. Everyone may return to tea and enjoy the Diamond House's luxuries. We must discuss. We'll see you in the next one. And remember, no matter the outcome, always let the dice roll. Hiss! 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 Stuart, cut it!